All right, welcome back. Every once in a while, I think it's important to have a small refresher course when it comes to Etiquette 101. So today we are going to talk etiquette and the basic rules, especially for men. So, of course, my colleague Willis Raburu is joining me.
I am the man in this
He's
equation.
the man. And we want to teach him a few things, but also joining us here in the studio is Bill Hawaka, who's the CEO of Etiquette Center. Welcome.
Thank you.
I thought maybe you can teach Willis a few things. But first, maybe let's start by contextualizing what etiquette means in 2016. Is it just good manners? Is it how you sit at the table? Is it how you treat passengers in the matatu? I mean, what is it?
Actually, etiquette is more than just good manners. It is about making everyone around you comfortable, confident. It is about inspiring other people next to you. It's just about empowering other people by the way you carry yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, because we all know that when you're next to someone who is behaving uncomfortably, you also get uncomfortable, and so it's basically always about the other person. It's a selfless behavior.
Yeah. So Willis, as a Kenyan man, speak on behalf of your men.
Yes.
Do you feel like Kenyan men have always had good etiquette, or is what's your view on that?
Well, you're
on the hot.
but it's all good. Yeah, I think we've had, of course, you learn. I guess you live in like these days with the advent of YouTube and stuff like that. You sit down and you take time to watch, depending on where you want to go. Okay, like you can't get to be the guys we had here before sitting on the panel with Fred and Muli if you don't have some basic etiquette. You need it for where you're going. So because of that, I guess there's been some significant change. I mean, we live in attest to that because Kitambo, it was different. Nobody would tell a man anything because we rule
the
iron
man.
fist and strong voice. But now, I mean, we even things like before, while I was growing up, people, for example, used to spit a lot by the roadside. Like you're walking, you just hear the
that makes
that kasauti. Then it lands probably next to you. Touch. So not only is it you've heard the sound, not only are you disgusted, sometimes you get to see it, and probably you're from lunch or something.
I have so many questions, so I'll just go through them one by one. Let's start with men opening doors for women.
Oh yeah.
Is that still happening? Should it be happening? It's not.
Actually, it is. Every man should open a door to a woman unless it is in a business setup. So any door, any door, anything that needs to be opened, even if it is a can, anything that needs to be opened, a man should always open
the door way out of his life.
Anything a man should do, a man should always open doors. But there's an exception.
Okay.
In a business setup, and let's say I am an etiquette profession, we are colleagues, for instance, and he doesn't need to open the door for you, Joey.
Oh, okay. Well, he does sometimes, and he carries chairs, like he's actually quite a gentleman.
But in etiquette rules, it's not necessary, because when you're all colleagues, and it's about business, it's about work, it's about the profession, not about individuals. So then at that time, it need not happen, really. And the only thing that can be done is if she is superior to you, then that is a must. You must do it if she's superior in a business setup. But if you're both just colleagues, same level,
it's not necessary.
But social setup, man, that's really, really important.
What about those women? They're also on the reverse. There are women who,
well, independent women, I feel like, why are you opening the door for me? I go to the gym also.
Yes, she's always driving.
Oh, actually, if you see that happening once with one lady, maybe next time you should alert her, like, let me get the door. I'll get the door. I'll get the door for you, or kindly allow me to get the door for you. And those words are important. Kindly, please,
so allow the way you're saying it, it's not like, when I'm clear.
It has to be, allow me, may I please, can I have the pleasure of getting the door for you, or something like that. It makes a woman more comfortable, and of opening this door.
We were having the conversation about car doors yesterday, myself and Willis, and he was asking driving, if the woman is the one driving.
Yes, what do you do?
Does the guy get out of the passenger seat, go around, open her door, come back, as in, what's the protocol there?
Oh, actually, that is not necessary.
Okay.
It is not necessary. You don't have to be a butler, really. But that is not necessary. But if it is in a business setup, you have to do it. Now, there's a difference between business, a gentleman in business and a gentleman in a social setting. So if it's in a social setting, then you really don't have to. Some men reach out and open the door from inside, which is still allowed, but there's this kind of, when it is in a business setup, you have to. If it is, let's say, we have, I've come here, I'm a guest, and I'm going out with you, for instance, to meet another setup, then you are, even if I'm the one driving, say, let me, kindly allow me to go get it. So you have to get out, but only in business setups, only. But in social setups, well, then she can always get the door.
What happens in public transportation?
Now that one, there's a big problem.
Already Makanga ameshafungua mlango, for example. So what do you do?
Giving up your seat?
Yes,
maybe?
giving up
I
your
don't know
seat.
if
That's very important. Actually, people don't know this, but when you get into a matatu, you are supposed to first use the front seats. People get into the buses and you just want to go straight behind and sit behind next to the window, but that's not etiquette. You're supposed to be considerate of other people. You came first, sit at the front. Or you'd rather just wait first, let other people come in if you want to sit at the back. Secondly, you don't sit at the back when you know your stage is the last stage. You don't sit at the window when your stage is the last stage. You don't want to pass around people, so that you can pass. And unfortunately, men do this a lot, but it's not allowed. Yeah, the best way to do it, you consider if you're alighting a closer stage, you sit farther from the window and you sit at the front. Then you let those people who are lighting a bit farther, then they're allowed to sit at the back.
Okay.
Yeah, so usually it's not, you're not supposed to really run from the back telling people, hey, I'm alighting. Really.
It's a picture.
It's not etiquette.
What would you say in your field have you seen as the biggest problem that Kenyan men have when it comes to etiquette?
Actually,
what's the issue?
Actually, grooming.
Okay.
Most men think they're smart, they're well dressed, and they're not.
Yeah.
And
they're not.
They're not. In a business setup, it's okay. You know, someone knows that, hey, I can put on a suit and I'm looking good. But you see, outside the suit, when we go to dressing casual, smart.
Yeah, social setting.
Yeah, that now really happens. Men just get it bad. Going out on a date.
And you're wearing a jersey for your favorite team.
Manchester United.
Yeah, you ask a woman out for a date and there's this menu match.
Not slippers.
No, but you see, no. If you're asking a woman out for a date and you're going to watch football, they really try to show up.
Why are you going to watch football? Are you going on a date or are you going to watch football?
That's a little kill to bad Johnstone. The thrill. You have to be present to enjoy my thrill and my nini. Then so the etiquette would be
don't watch football, focus on me.
Show up. After you to celebrate what?
Actually, that's something again men don't get. When you're asking a woman out on a date, don't say, hey Joey, can I do you mind coffee? Can we have coffee tomorrow at let's say this time? And that's wrong, huh? You don't just approach Joey and tell her I want to take you out for coffee tomorrow.
Okay.
What if Joey doesn't like taking coffee? You see, before you ask someone on a date, let them know that you've taken a bit of some time to know about them. Okay, so if I have seen you with different kinds of shoes, like 3 times, 4 times, they're like,
6 times.
I like your shoes. Maybe one of these days we can go out for shopping. Shopping can be a date, huh? Then she'll be like, this guy gets me.
No way.
You know? This guy gets me. In other words, you don't.
if shopping can be a date, then my football can be a date.
You know, a date is a situation where you get to spend some time with other person. Yeah. Okay. So however way it is, if it is coffee, if it is lunch, if it is you know, it has to be something that both of you like doing. And men, actually, mostly in Kenya, Kenyan men don't think ahead of the date. So they'll ask you for a date, and then after that they're like, wow, where do I take her? Does she drink alcohol? What if I take her to a club and she goes like, I'm all Jewish, I'm not...
You haven't done your research.
So it's very important to get to know somebody before you say, let me take you out on a date. Secondly, it's very important to ask her parents, her relatives, for her hand in marriage before you propose. Kenyan men first, rarely do they propose. Rarely do they propose nowadays.
For life.
The wife.
Perform.
And in real case, you have to talk to her parents, her people, before you ask for hand in marriage, and that's etiquette. That makes a gentleman. Kenyan men, most of them, you specialize in something like, I'm a news reporter, I'm good at it, wow, I like watching football, that's good. And that's just about it. But a gentleman is a savvy of everything. I can cook. Just because you're a boxer doesn't mean you cannot cook, doesn't mean you cannot
talk about it. Let's talk about it.
A gentleman is
everything.
Is everything. Remember when I was saying etiquette is you're somebody who everyone looks up to. You stand out, you know. The same way goes to a lady, but now a gentleman, since you see the way a cat and a lion, they're both cats, but now a lion is the greater cat, right? So a gentleman and a man, now a gentleman is a greater man, right?
I would be interested in seeing the research on the percentage of Kenyan men who actually cook for women. Like if you know you're courting someone and you're getting to know them. I haven't seen a lot of that happen. Willis?
Well, Kenyan men cook. The only challenge is this. The only challenge that happens is they're afraid. Not me, they are afraid that if you start cooking, you cook once a day. That's the end. That is it. That is the end. She starts saying, sasa si ulipika jana, pika tu leo. Ama weke mguu, asema baby, mimi nimechoka. So the only thing is, as in cooking, and most of these things actually, the things that you're talking about, I think it's also because there is, like she was saying, there's no research, there's no information, and in your mind, it's so microwave success kind of story. So you just want to go, okay, this is joy. So now I read there are like 6 joys. So I know after the man lose a joy. Nikisema form, I say hakuna. Next. I have to keep moving. So yeah, I guess that's one of the biggest problems as well.
When it comes to just men in the social setting, rarely do we find gentlemen. Even men who are just well dressed in suits. They are CEOs in companies. They are chairmen in big organizations.
Doesn't mean that they have proper etiquette.
Doesn't mean that. I've seen people who are of a more humble background doing things that you can never imagine.
I think it's the focus, like Willis is talking about. You're not focused on one target, therefore you're not doing that research. You're not that invested because your attention is split a couple different ways. Yeah,
and like for instance, when I came in today in the morning, the room was full of gentlemen. No one stood up to greet me
or ask you, have a seat.
Yes, and a gentleman should always, when a woman steps into the room, whether she's old, whether she's young, whether she's
I feel like walking into the room right now.
You stand up,
I feel like walking
and greet the woman. And this doesn't make you feel like, oh, really, nakanyagiwa, that kind of thing. No, what it does, it shows that you respect her. You want to make her comfortable. Yeah, and actually a man who does this, it's the lion kind of man.
Stand out.
To do that for a woman, because you know, if you're a gentleman, like, oh, she's a woman, she's delicate, you know, so you're standing up like.
Flip side again, there are also women who, unakuja like they're starting out msofti ona nasimama. The woman now say, some women say, I want a man, like a real man, ule wa kutembea mbele na huko nyuma. At least unajua ni mwanaume.
He shows you the way.
And also, I mean, because etiquette spreads across, like the men who leave their socks all over and the clothes all over, because the challenge is balancing that traditional man and the modern 21st century man. Like you're saying, the standing up started like now. This is the 21st century. If it was the reverse back in the day, like if your dad walks in,
your mom stands up.
Saying, you know, that's true. It's also coming from you know, trying to learn both, I think.
You know, you're right, Willis. But then what even we teach at our center, we're trying to tell men that the 21st century man isn't the same as our fathers and our forefathers, right? He's a better man. And that's what we're teaching. So you have to come out of the whole traditional culture thing. And even when you're having this woman who doesn't understand etiquette, and they're like, why is he standing up? Why is he opening the car door? Why is he standing? Okay, you know those things. But she'll slowly learn that, oh, because I'm a lady, he's appreciating me.
This is how it should be.
Yeah, he's a good man. I like this, you know. So even when they're reacting like, oh, it's just because it's something new. But when they get to they get to see it more often, they appreciate it, they love it, and they feel like, wow, every woman, even the one who's 8 years old to the one who's 18 years old, they love being around a gentleman.
Yeah, and being shown respect. One more issue, since we're talking about 21st century. Guys who are on their phones like Willis.
I'm checking feedback.
Phone etiquette.
In a social setting, I know at work, you know, he's handling his business or whatever. In a social setting, what's the protocol for being at a table with someone, trying to, you know, have that coffee date or whatever, but someone has important calls they have money to make?
Actually, Joy, you've asked that, and it happens all the time to all women. A man just won't put his phone off or on silent when they're on a date, unless it's because you're the other woman, Pangwa Kandi doesn't want the original one to call and like, but it's an issue. It's an issue because now you don't want someone to be taking selfies. There has been such a case where a man is taking selfies. They're like, oh, just give me a minute, I want to take a selfie. I want to show my friends I am. You know, so he's taking selfies, and she's like, really? Yeah. And or something like, I have to take this call. Usually phone etiquette. When you're taking the moment you reach out to take the phone, even if it's just to tell that other person like, I'll call you back. That's rude. The moment you just reach out for that phone and pick it up, it's rude. You just if you hadn't put it on silent, maybe you can just say, oh, sorry, I thought I had put that on silent, or I thought I had switched that off. Then you switch it off and apologize again. The moment you reach out for your phone, you're telling that other person, oh, wait, you're not as important as this phone. The person calling me is very important. You wait first, right? Yet this is someone who's taken their time to come and meet you and get to know you. Yeah. And phones,
and I feel like,
what about if you say, goes, the phone goes, and then you're like, excuse me.
Still wrong.
It's still wrong, even if you say, can I just take this?
Here's what I think. I think that even as women, we should be on the lookout for these things, because if you see a man is showing you divided attention from the first date, that's how it's going to continue.
To rule out.
Yeah. If on the first date he can't even put his phone on silent, then don't expect much in the
Lakini
future.
sasa, watu niongee kwa niaba ya wanaume. Hii pesa yenye mtu ananipigia nitengeneza madeal.
Nalipia chakula.
Hii deal. Funding. Lazima, because like let's say, for example, let's take an example of maybe I've been, you know, trying to chase this thing for maybe months, and now this guy has finally called, right? And then here he is, and I know this is a call to say come and pick up the check. So if I say excuse me, pick up the, you know, the call, and he tells me come for the check tomorrow, and I say thank you very much, and I hang up, I can eat even more comfortably. In fact, let us spend more money now that more is coming in.
You know what you've done? You've just shown this woman that money comes before you.
But the woman will need money.
No, just say it. But it does.
That's what you've just done, eh? And it's still very uncomfortable. You know, when you're with a woman, with a woman, just show her, you know what? My world revolves around you.
Hii world ikirevolve around, wacha nitengeneza. Nikishatengeneza pesa, nitakuonyesha vile world ina revolve around wewe kweli.
I don't think we're going to resolve any of this today. I don't think any of this is going to be resolved. But Bill, maybe you can just tell us a little bit more about our Etiquette Center as we wind this up, so you know people who are more interested in learning about the issues that we've talked about here today.
Oh, okay. Etiquette Center is a learning center. We have programs from children way from 7 years. Because now the children programs, we understand that we have to raise our children. We have a Little Gentleman's program, Little Miss Manners program, so we are raising up our daughters and sons in, you know, a mannerly program, to telling them how to sit like you, because nowadays people sit like him, and and men shouldn't even sit like that.
Men should sit like this? How should men sit?
Yani, I win this entire interview.
What's the problem with this year? 1 minute, Robert. How should men sit?
Because when you're sitting like that,
yes,
me and Joey are not, we are not your...
My boys.
We are not your buddies, neither are we your girlfriends or persons of interest romantically. So when you sit like that, it is suggesting... it is bad manners. So when you see the way she's crossed her legs, I've crossed mine. So you put your legs together.
Like this.
In your house, that's good. But
or like this. Yes, now I'll be like this. So tell me, Joey. Should we be like this?
No, just down
a good position, or like this?
Yeah, posture is very important when you're sitting upright and your legs are together. Even for a man, just like that. Now that's good.
This is good.
Now that's a gentleman seated.
But because of the chains, really.
Yeah, good posture.
Yeah, you can go down and check out also my expensive shoes.
We're getting a free lesson here.
Yeah, this is a free lesson. I should sit like I'm chilling at a... Okay.
And of course we also have a program for women, teaching ladies how to behave like a lady. We have the same for men, gentlemen's program. And now usually we have teens also.
Okay.
Yeah, for teens, because now teenagers, there is a different way to teach them, because now they're in adolescence, and so there's a different way to teach teenagers. And then with teenagers we have also special programs like when you're going for job interviews, how to introduce yourself.
And how to present yourself.
Now this is very important. Even this stretches out to universities. We are teaching them now, when after university, to go to the outer world, how you're supposed to put yourself in a situation where you have the upper hand. So again, we also have personal classes for personal image, personal branding. You know, it is an etiquette, let me say that, to look bad. You have to make the effort to groom yourself, make your hair, make your nails, men and women. So that's part of etiquette, personal image, and also personal growth, because growing, learning new things is growing. So yeah, we also teach people personal growth. Okay. So basically we teach from children, teens, men and women. Those we've started a new program for churches. Because also in churches we've been called so many times, pastors are telling us, I want you to teach my congregation etiquette. There's time, there's dressing in church, phones in church. So we've also started doing
So how can people get in touch with you if they're interested in any of your programs?
Oh, okay. We have you can visit our site, www.etiquettecenter with center is not RE, with center ER. Okay. www.etiquettecenter.co.ke. We also have our Facebook page, Etiquette Center. Yeah, that's a good platform.
Thank you so much for coming through and giving Willis a lesson. Teaching him how to sit.
I'm sitting like a gentleman.
Very, very useful information. And a good conversation, I think, that we've started here. So I think we're going to head over and have some music before we continue on with the show. Bilha Waka, CEO of Etiquette Center. Check her out and learn more for yourself. It's good. It's good in the 21st century.
It is.
Oh yes, and also after this we'll be talking to the lovely and beautiful golden voice, Kalechi Mumu. She'll be joining us. We want to find out more about any questions, comments and suggestions. I already see some on the hashtag for breakfast, so keep them coming. We're going to be talking with her, and you know, at least sasa nitakuwa nimekaa hivi because of learned a lot of etiquette. So Kalechi Mumu is coming up. I will be talking to her, so stay with hashtag for breakfast.